The Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. This year is boring to me. The only team that even has a chance to give them a run is the Buffalo Bills, as far as somebody else to maybe even put a dent in this perfect season. And even if they do it, once it comes to playoff time, again, they are so good in the clutch. Mahomes is so good in the clutch. DeAndre Hopkins had a phenomenal game, by the way. He's the new acquisition from their trade. He's had 2 touchdowns. He looks great. That opened up the door for Travis Kelce, who's now in shape. He had 14 catches for 100 yards. They have one of the best defenses already out there. They are 3rd in the league in rushing yards allowed. They got defense. They got star quarterbacks. They got great coaches. Now they've added a great wide receiver to go along with their already star tight end and Kareem Hunt and everybody else. And they're 8-0. They keep winning clutch games. You need everything combined to win all those things. You need coaches. You need quarterbacks. You need clutch. You need luck. You need defense. They got all of it. They're going to win. Chiefs are going to win again. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Taylor's going to be celebrating in the end zone somewhere after they win. Patrick's going to be flexing. His brother's going to be doing God knows what. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. This year is boring to me. This is like when Alabama was running their things in college. This is like when the Patriots kept continuing to win over and over and over. It's a boring conversation. They are 8-0, and they haven't even been playing that well. They are going to win again.
We're going to win. We're going to win.
It's stupid. It's like when Alabama was running their things in college. This is like when the Patriots kept continuing to win over and over and over. And I had so many callers. I remember when I was on the radio at the time. And boy, people would be like, hey, why aren't you getting into more, contenders and playoff talk? I'm like, dude, because it's the Patriots and Brady again. Let me know when Brady and the Patriots are no longer, playing together, and Belichick and everybody else, and then I'll give you more Super Bowl talk. Until then, it's a boring conversation. They are 8-0, and they haven't even been playing that well. They are going to win again.
We're going to win. We're going to win.
It's stupid. It's really almost not even worth bringing up, but I thought I'd at least bring it up for a second to let you know exactly why I don't do more. Until I see more from maybe, I don't know, like a Bills or Ravens come, more postseason time. I think the Lions have a puncher's chance that they get out of the NFC, but this is just the same old story, man. This is the same old song and dance where you got guys like Brady and Belichick and them that had their run of Super Bowls. They've won 2 now with Kansas City. Mahomes is probably going to win 3. This might be the best team they've had of the 3 Super Bowl runs, especially now adding DeAndre Hopkins. Kansas City Chiefs, the best team in the league by far. By far. I know it sucks. That's the most popular sport, and that's the most popular thing to talk about, but there's no one else that really even has, to me, anything less than a puncher's chance to give them a shot. They have a Jake Paul, Mike Tyson chance of knocking out Kansas City this year. So, moving on to 4 teams we do need to say rest in peace to. Rest in peace, Dallas Cowboys, Cleveland Browns, Jacksonville Jaguars, New Orleans Saints. These were at least 4 contenders that we thought had a shot this year, and have all completely shit the bed and have all completely embarrassed themselves and are completely done now for the 2024-25 season. So goodbye to all 4 of you. Rest in peace. I will say to the Cowboys, who are 3-5, big exciting news at the trade deadline. You traded a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo. As it's been all year with the Cowboys, too late and massively overpaying for it. That's been your story all season. You waited too long to pay Dak Prescott. Now he's in injured reserve with a hamstring injury. You waited too long to pay CeeDee Lamb. He didn't come into camp. He came in out of shape. He had a slow start. Now he's a shoulder injury. You brought back Ezekiel Elliott 2 years too damn late, and he's averaged only 3.1 yards per carry and got suspended just recently for off-field issues. Your new offensive line, y'all thought you were going to be able to tweak it and do it through the draft, has been the worst I've seen in decades for the Dallas Cowboys. Your rookie left tackle, you drafted Guyton, I believe you benched just recently. The Falcons, who you just lost to, who's a good team, but their pass rush sucks. You still found out a way to give up 3 sacks and 27 pressures. That defense sorely misses Dan Quinn. I know injuries. I know Micah, Lawrence, Bland, all that. But, look at the Commanders and what Dan Quinn is doing over there. That's all you need to know about how much you miss him. But the fact is that in this, quote, all-in season with Jerry, it has been all season too late and then massively overpaying after you wait too long, and it's been an embarrassing year for you. 3-5, you guys are done. Bye-bye. The Cleveland Browns, this is Cleveland. I will say at least Browns fans, although Cowboys fans should be argued to be put in this category, I will say I think Browns fans more than most know the hurt and pain of just having something, getting your hopes up and then having them taken away from you, as I used your boy Jameis Winston there in the photo. Jameis, by the way, is seen there playing charades. The category is, what does Deshaun Watson think a masseuse actually does? But the Cleveland Browns were a dominant defense and big play offense last year that was able to get, 11 wins at a playoff berth. But, I mean, now your defense has not even been that great. You're like 11th in points per drive. You've only gotten 5 turnovers all season on defense. That is only 3.8% of the drives. That is by far dead last, so the defense has not been there. Then Watson tore his Achilles, and Jameis had one good game, and then Jameis does what Jameis does, which is be horribly inconsistent. And the loss to the Chargers was just 26-46, 235 yards and a touchdown with 3 interceptions. Nick Chubb, I mean, the guy's knee got bent backwards, so I'm not that shocked that he came back this year is only averaging 2.7 yards per carry. And, I mean, next year, I don't even know what to tell you. You guys might have to actually, to get rid of Deshaun Watson in that contract, trade him plus a first-round pick to get something back. And I don't know if I've ever heard of that, where you have to trade your franchise quarterback and then incentivize it with another first-round pick of your own just to get rid of him in that whole situation. And I don't know if anybody will take it now with the Achilles injury, and then he's probably going back to, civil court and everything else, and God knows what. It is a horrible situation in Cleveland, but, say better luck next year, but you guys, you're Cleveland. You know what's happening. The Jacksonville Jaguars, quickly, 2-7. Look, Trevor Lawrence, or as I have him in the picture there, Jar Jar Stinks. I mean, he's hit his 3.5-year mark. He reminds me so much of Andrew Luck, it's almost ridiculous. Trevor Lawrence, to me, is Andrew Luck 2.0 of another prince that was crowned too soon. And yes, there's been injuries to their wide receivers, Kirk and Davis and Ingram. I think you overpaid for all 3 of those guys, by the way. $45 million per year for 3 okay receivers is just meh. But, I mean, the big thing with me in Jacksonville, the stat I saw that was alarming and tells me a lot about Trevor Lawrence, you can't convert on third down. That's every great quarterback. If Trevor's supposed to be, and y'all were talking about this, Trevor's going to be up there with Brady and Mahomes and, the big names. Every time I've watched those guys in a third and clutch situation and, even more recently third and short, usually they convert so many times in those third downs and hit those big plays. They just keep offensive drives pushing. Trevor and the Jacksonville Jaguars have not just been bad at it. I'll give you a stat that should blow your mind. In 3rd and 5 or less this year, you've only converted 36.5% of 3rd and 5s or less. You are not just dead last. An average team converts 53% of those. I mean, it's the biggest down as far as being able to continue and move the chains, keep your defense rested, and put pressure on them. And your star quarterback is supposed to be, the next big thing. It is so reminiscent to me of Andrew Luck, of a guy who got crowned too soon, still had a lot to prove, and so far in his 3rd and a half year, where it was supposed to be the big jump, has not proven a goddamn thing. New Orleans Saints. Man, it looked great. It looked great, didn't it? First two games, remember when you got to play 2 of the worst teams in the league, and the Cowboys and the Panthers, and you won 47-10 and 44-10, and you looked like world beaters? Y'all are the epitome of why I tell people, dude, just wait. Give it a minute. Never get too excited too early about things that are happening in the NFL, because we get so anxious and we get so eager for the season. They were 2-0, they look great and everything else. Well, they've lost 7 in a row, and they have just sucked out loud. Now they lost to that same Carolina Panthers team, really putting a nail in the embarrassing coffin. I mean, I can get to a whole laundry list of things. The defense is 26th in sack rate, yet somehow you were only able to sack Young in that Carolina loss one time, I believe, with their 3rd-string left tackle out there. Derek Carr and Olave were back for 8 minutes, but even then, are they really that great against actual competition? You just fired your coach, Dennis Allen, and, I mean, the only thing you have is Alvin Kamara, which has been a great fantasy pickup for those who had him. Other than that, the Saints sucked out loud. So, look, there's really not much else to say there. All 4 of your seasons are over. I know you're supposed to be contenders, but it's done. Rest in peace. Dallas Cowboys, Cleveland Browns, Jacksonville Jaguars, New Orleans Saints. Bye-bye. Nice try. Better luck next year.